Okay, hello and welcome to the first video of this channel where I struggle to build models, have fun, learn things, and hopefully come out with something cool at the end. My name is, of course, Meltman PTB, and today we're going to be working on the Panzer Kampfwagen II Ausf/G. Now this model kit is available now and there's modern retooling, but this one is decrepit and old. It's I think it's from the 70s. I mean, just look at the box. So we'll take a look here in a minute what's inside the thing, and we'll go from there. So alright guys, here we go. Let's go ahead and open this kit and see what we got in here. The old decrepit box. First off, a set of instructions. Well, that's actually the painting guide, which is surprising. Alright. And of course the instructions, which will be extremely useful in putting them all together. We also have, looks like one bag with the sprue, the tracks, and the decals in there. Looks pretty good. Don't see any problems with it. Another set of sprues. This looks like the figures themselves with maybe bases. I'm not sure yet, but I guess we'll find out with the instructions, won't we? Also have the hull, of course. Useful. And the thing I found about the Tamiya kits is they're generally made for the, like RCs, they have these holes in the bottom. I don't bother plugging them, but some people probably will. That's just not my thing. And last but not least, of course, is the upper deck, which looks like there's no problems with it. So now I will caution you guys, I am not an expert model builder at all by any means. So when I do stuff, don't take it as law. Now off my right here, you see I've got a kind of a messy area. This is my kit area, but it works out pretty well. I got my files, I got my sprue cutter, my pin vise, my X-Acto knife, and it's kind of cool spring-loaded pair of clamps for holding those tiny little bit pieces. So we'll go ahead and get started on this model, and we'll see how it goes. Alright guys, so we're going to open this up, or I got it cut. I mean, not a big deal. I mean, if you really want to see it cut, whoo, big deal, right? Alright, I'm going to take this couple of sprues out in here. As it showed, we've got the decals, which will be going on the tank, of course. We have the poly caps, which will be for the wheels. Now, I usually put this on, but usually I'll glue the tracks in place. It's just what I prefer. I don't want to have the tracks rolling around. Looks like all the turret pieces up here with all the other stuff. It's only a 2-sprue kit. I'm really surprised. The third sprue that you guys saw was actually just the commander figures, or the the infantry along with the kit. So this is all infantry. I'm not really worried about this. I'm not really doing any Deutsche Afrika Korps stuff, but I guess we'll keep that in mind. So here we go. Alright guys, now keep in mind I told you this is an older kit, right? Well, here you go. This, I don't even see all of this, but this is it. It's about one sheet, double-sided, and there are exactly 5 steps to completing this model kit. So, I mean, normally I'm looking at 16, 17 steps from the other models I do. So this is kind of a short one. So, should be an interesting build here. And it looks not to be too hard. And on the front side, I can tell the paper's really, I don't know if you can see or not, it's really yellowed. But it looks like it's got some information, but it's all in Chinese. There's some, I mean, yeah. Or Japanese, I'm not sure which, I'll be honest with you. But, yeah, anyway, here we go. Now the thing about this is they're not actually on sprues. They're labeled like A, B, C, D, E, right? These are actually just numbered parts, which is the first time I encountered this. Now I haven't built models really since I was a kid, and over the past, oh gosh, I don't know, month, 3 weeks, I would say that I started picking up this again, and it's been kind of fun. Now being an adult, I was able to buy some cool stuff like a airbrush and that kind of stuff. So that's been really nice. I didn't have that before, so as a newly able airbrush painter, the process for this has been completely different from what it used to be, from just painting by hand and all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking that some of these parts might actually be mislabeled here. So I'm looking for number 12, and it actually looks like it's number 7. So, oh no, And there it is, right there where it should be. Similar looking parts. Now, I used to not really care about, you know, what I did with this model. I just like put models together and kind of do them just whatever they're supposed to be, right? But in the end, you know, now I got this new stuff, new setup, I'm kind of just realizing that there's stuff can be done, like sanding the edges off these parts and you know, just all kinds of neat stuff. And some of these guys I've been watching on YouTube just trying to pick up the hobby again have been really, really helpful. I mean, I picked up so much just from watching it before I even started. I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense while I was doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and take some quick break here and get this stuff together, and we'll take a look at the bottom hull completed, which took exactly, hopefully, a few minutes. So stay tuned. Alright guys, got the base put together here. Something I noticed here is at the front, it's an older model, and you can see that the, I guess wheel well, I don't know what to really call it, is made out of two pieces. There's a huge gap there, so I'll have to fill that before I paint it at some point. There's the rear. It was a pretty easy construction, but yeah, on the next little part here. Alright, if you guys can see this right here on this, right, or not, do you guys see how messy that is? It is super messy, and I've already had one wheel come off, and I've lost one of the little teeth of the gear there. So basically I'll have to hide this when I paint the model. So I just want to show that real quick, that this is definitely an older model kit. And let me find the correct sprue. You can see right here, there it is. You can see that or not. Tamiya 1971. It is old. So, I mean, I'm not thinking it's the tooling. I think this kit is legitimately old. Not just from, like, yeah. Anyway, we'll deal with it and we'll get it going. Okay, so I'm putting the wheels together here, and they're not complex. They're about the same as any other Tamiya kit I've done so far, which, I mean, it's not much, but it's, you know, they all seem to be about the same. So, like I said, the polycaps, I don't mind them. I just don't really like the wheels and the track fluid. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I paint a kit, on the base, like underneath the portion that's not seen, I don't really worry about that. I don't worry about it being, you know, 100% hidden or painted or whatever. I mean, as long as it looks good from above and the sides, the main stuff. I mean, unless you really want to crawl underneath the tank. Now, what I was talking about earlier is these little, you can see those are now, they're little extra bits of the sprue that are left after you clip it. When I was a kid, I wouldn't mess with that. I would just leave it on there and hope it looked good. And now, as an adult, with these tools I have, that I've bought for myself, I find myself getting a little bit more satisfaction off it by cleaning up the part so it fits more properly, that it looks better on the completed model, you know, that kind of stuff. So now, you don't have to do this. It'll still look good, but it's something I just prefer to do. So let's get these first two sets of wheels together here. We'll be on our way, hopefully. Oh, that does not fit well at all. Look at that. If you can see it. That is really screwed up. Now, I'm guessing maybe if I look there's... Actually, no, there's nothing to look at. That is how it fits. So you gotta get on there really correctly in order for it to fit. And actually, it's actually taller than the wheel itself. So this will be interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and work this real quick, and I'll get back with you guys. Give me just a moment. Alright guys, so unfortunately there was no saving the poly caps on that one. I just went and glued it on there together, and we're going to see how it fits on the actual model itself. If nothing else, it's going to take a little extra glue. Shouldn't be a big problem, but just want to show you that real quick. We're on the next set of wheels here. They're kind of, not the road wheels, actually the road wheels. So it's easy step. These have poly caps as well. Hopefully the poly caps fit better in this one. But if they don't, well, same thing. We'll just glue them in place and get it to stick properly. Alright guys, so good news, these poly caps actually fit in there properly, and I'm going to go ahead and take a guess they probably fit in the caps, the wheels themselves. I'm going to get these done real quick. I have two types of glue. I have the Tamiya, let's see, this is extra thin, and I also have a extreme power, this is medium, super glue. This stuff is really strong and it sets really fast. With the thin stuff from Tamiya, you get a little bit longer to play with it. Now I'll use the thicker stuff when I want like when I want a part to stick like permanently. So that's like smaller stuff, antennas, gosh, just a myriad of small parts. The regular cement actually works pretty well for everything as well, but it's like the security that the stronger, thicker stuff does. It holds tight. Now the only downside, obviously, is that once you set it and have it on something, it is not coming apart at all. It is a pain in the ass. So unless you've messed up how much glue you put on something, or some lucky reason, that is not coming off. I've had learning experience here. I've had stuff just get completely stuck, and I just had to either break it off, make a new part out of some spruce somehow, and it's just a pain. But it's live and learn. Getting back into modeling has taught me a lot about, kind of process, what should be done first, what should be done last, what should, it's just what needs to be done to make a model complete quicker. Or, well, not quicker, but how not to mess it up, I guess would be a better way to say it. So, if y'all notice, I've done that about 4 times where I grab the wrong part first, which is dumb, but I do it. So, eventually your brain learns, hey, grab the small piece first, then glue it, and then attach the road wheel to it. So, but alright, so we got those wheels on. We got one set of wheels left, or one set of, looks like maybe a drive sprocket in the front, or a bogey wheel. I'm not sure which yet. Looks like a bogey. And we'll get going. So, catch you on that next part after this. We'll get the wheels on and go from there. Alright guys, something I should notice is that on tanks you have a small problem called round wheels, but then you get the sprue pieces here where you disconnect it, right? And something you should do is you shouldn't try to file it flat, right? When you're trying to get rid of that, what you should do is try to cut as close as you can with your clippers. But when you're doing it, right, what I like to do is just kind of scrub a big portion off the top, as much as I can. Yeah, I know, right? Tiny sausage fingers on this little thing. A little bit off the top, and then try to take it and move it a little bit as I go, just to make sure the wheel stays round and doesn't get a flat spot on it. Because last thing you want is a flat looking wheel that you're going to have to repair later on. So that's the important thing to do. Just make sure you don't want it flat. You want to try to have a nice round surface for your part when you're done. So, but there we go. So what we're going to do now is glue these little idler wheels on there after I get them all done here. Which is, I think it's about 8, so it's going to take a minute here, but it shouldn't be too bad. I'll try to get my fingers out of the way if I can. So you can see what I'm doing here. I don't think it's really a grain to plastic, which I don't, so it doesn't really matter which way you go. I prefer to go away from me. Some people may prefer to go towards them. As I'm doing this, I try to take them, and if they look good enough that there's not a massive piece sticking out, I'll just leave them there and not really worry about it. It's just the big noticeable pieces that I really worry about. Oh, and I gotta apologize. I got sinus issues, so I sound kind of stuffed up and nasally, and my voice normally isn't like this. It's normally a smooth, sexy, amazing Ohio accent. However, well, when you get stuff in your nose, it alters how your voice sounds. So, and the kit so far has been pretty good. I haven't had really major issues. The only really bothers the 2 poly caps on the front drive wheels, and a little problem on the front right wheel well, for lack of a better term. And it just, where it doesn't connect. So I'm thinking they probably banked on it being hidden, but we'll see here once you got all the stuff put together. It's just, I mean, you can really tell that this kit is older, and that it's old. It just needs a lot of TLC with it. Now, they did do a retool, which it might be interesting to go and buy that kit and see if that retool is maybe better or a little different than this one. Maybe to compare them, see if they may change the model up a little bit. But for right now, this is the only thing I'm really too concerned. I'm not really too concerned about it. So, all right. They all look good, so what we're going to do now is go ahead and get these glued on there. Basically what these function as on the tank is they keep the top part of the track on the tank. They keep it moving along. So we'll get these glued in here real quick. Actually, I'm going to do all 4 of the holes here real quick, all at once. And on the one side, or 5, sorry, pardon me, there's 5 on each side. And then I'll flip it over and get the other 5 taken care of real quick. And then we'll move ahead and get the wheels put on, the road wheels. And make sure they're nice and tucked in. If you want to, I do sometimes, I'll take the glue right where it connects. You can see it very well or not. Up in here, like right where it connects. Oops. And I'll put some glue in there to make sure it gets a nice tight fit. It seems like they're good right now. We'll let it set and see how they turn, or how it turns out. But if they don't set very well, we'll go ahead and add some more glue to that. So, and bear with me. This is my first instructional video, so I'm trying to learn this as I go. And it's a learning process for me of camera work and as I'm working this model, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. I don't really mind it. It's just you're getting some really crappy shots like this in my hand trying to put stuff in until I learn exactly what I'm doing. So, all right, both sides are in. They're tamped down. These seem to be stuck. That one needs some glue. That one needs some glue, so we'll go ahead and do that. Actually, we'll just go ahead and do all 4 of them. All 4 on this side. We'll go on the other side and get the other 4 too. Now it keeps a nice seal around it. That glue will make sure it sticks. It's not going to move on us. So painting, we won't have some random, paint mark that's going to look really crazy and stupid. So I'm not perfect, but I like to make stuff look good. I'm not an expert, like I said. I'm not an expert, but trying to make it look good is probably one of the better things I try to do. So, all right, those are on. So let's go ahead and get these. Let's see, a little orientation here for me. Front of the tank, front of the tank. Alright, we'll get these added on. So, we'll take those big ones. That's where those, it's going to be hidden. It's going to be hidden. That's exactly what I did. So, and for this one, because it's broken right there, not broken, it's just molded crappily, what's going to happen is I'll take the thick glue and I'll go ahead and apply the thick glue right onto it, because I want to make sure it sticks and sticks tight. I just don't want to be messing with it, an hour from now. I'm trying to paint or whatever. So we'll just take this. It'll be a nice tight fit. The other wheel might do as well because it doesn't have the poly cap in it. So we'll go ahead and take care of all that real quick. And when it sticks, man, it sticks. So this ain't going to be going nowhere fast. I've glued my fingers together. Don't worry, it happens. Usually they come right apart. Ain't a big deal. And once that wheel starts to stick with the thick glue, I'll go ahead and I'll take the thin glue and trace along the edge right here where it connects, right? Let's see. I can't really go like that, where it connects. That way it gets a good... crap. It's not going together very well. Need to figure out why. It's probably the poly cap, but that's alright. The main problem I'm going to have is trying to get the wheel to sit properly, and this is not working with me at all. So hang with me. Let's see if we can get this taken care of, because this is really, really annoying. And my glue isn't setting up, which is even more annoying, because this stuff is just absolutely nasty. I mean, you talk about some glue that sticks to things. Man, this glue sticks to some things. So I'm going to go ahead and hold it. We'll try to get as centered as I can. And then I don't want it to mess with the track once it goes on there, but it's kind of a crapshoot, because it's just a really crappy wheel well. and it's just not wanting to stick at all, which is really strange. This glue is some of the strongest glue I have ever used for anything. So we'll just let it dry here for just a moment, and we'll see if maybe that'll be it. And then we can go back through and put the lighter glue around the seam, I guess, and maybe get that to work out a little better. Man, that is not working at all. Oh, you know what? It's because I'm dumb. That's the problem. So I tried to put the this is the problem. I tried to put the polycaps through the backside, right? Because the diagram shows that as well, right? Oh. Wait a minute. What? I have completely messed this up. Stand by. Okay, so here's the problem. There's the polycap. We can see it fits in there nicely, right? Yeah, that's the right side. See, I had tried to fit in that side, and you can see or not, it's a little bit smaller diameter hole, where this side's a little bigger. And, you know, that's just my fault. It's not Tamiya's fault. It's definitely my fault. So let's get this properly taken care of, and we'll go from there. And it should fit just like a glove. So, because, man, it was fighting me hard. Like, fighting me real hard to go on there. So, that should fit there. Perfect. Fits nicely. This one we'll take on there. It's like the Mythbuster saying, you know, failure failure is always an option. And you know what? Failure was definitely an option there. And I found myself making maybe one or two mistakes at kit where I just, I think I read the instructions properly, and I didn't. And it happens. So just deal with it. And luckily I didn't use a thick glue on this the first time around because I've been screwed completely. So now, let's do this again. Let's put our glue on here. We use the thin stuff this time. We shouldn't need the thick. And actually put some on the actual, oops, the actual lug itself here. Because like I said, I don't like my stuff moving. It's just, I mean, if you like your stuff move, that's fine. Oh, and we broke the piece. Uh-oh. Not the piece, we broke the hub. Here it snapped right there, so I need to re-glue that real quick. And I'm gonna use the big thick glue for this one. So I don't want it to move anymore, ever. So I'll take it, put it in the cracks here. It's gonna do a two purpose. If I use it here on the cracks, right, it's gonna fill that gap. So if I paint it, it won't be a big deal. I'm also gonna run along the inside edge to give it a nice permanent seal. So when it dries, that piece is there, hopefully forever. That, oh, and of course, I have glued my finger to it. See, it always happens. It always will, and it's fine. Don't let that worry or distract you. With the thick glue, it happens to me all the time. Constantly, I glue my fingers to this shit. It's part of the game. So, all right, that's in there. Should be good to go. Take a little bit of lighter glue. Put that across the top stuff there. And we'll take the thin glue on the other side. Like I said, I'm learning, so I apologize for these horrible camera angles. Get that there. That front drive wheel on there. Now this side's a little different. It's not, the front side's a whole piece on this one. So it's not nearly as bad, but the thing still broke away on the inside of the model, so I'll have to re-glue that side as well. Again, it's not a big deal. Just a matter of the glue drying properly. So I'll take it. I'm going to glue this in there. That way, once that dries, we'll have a nice permanent hold, and it's not going to go anywhere. So what do to make sure your tracks look straight. Like, you don't want to have a curve to them. You want to make sure they're, or not your tracks, your drive wheels here straight, because you don't want them to, oh man, broke free again. Jeez. All the luck. There we go. Because it could throw off your tracks and try to put them on. These look generally straight. I don't have any problems with that. I would say it's good to go. and then we'll just leave that alone and put the rest on here. So do all the little hubs here. Give them a good thing of glue. Stick them all on. There's 5 per side. Now some of the other kits they have are, oh, it's a beast. All the wheels they have, also it is such a pain in the butt to get them on there properly. Oh, that's the wrong one. See, you gotta watch what you're doing. There we go. But this kit's been pretty decent. I haven't had any really problems with it at all. So, like with the wheels, I mean, operator is different, different story clearly. But generally speaking, it's been a decent kit. So go ahead and get this side taken care of. Do the road wheels and then the bogey wheel. The back. I think that's the bogey. That's either the bogey wheel or the drive wheel. One of the two. I think the bogey might be at the front, but depending on which German tank it is, the drive's in the front, so it could change. It could be a front wheel drive or rear wheel. I'm not a German tank express, like paint them and make them. So I love their camo patterns they had. Call it nerdy, whatever. It's kind of cool. So, all right, there we go. All the wheels on it, front, back, everything else like that. And I think we're on to the next step, so hang on tight. Alright guys, we're on to the turret now. I've done some work ahead of it. Got the commander's hatch taken care of. These little pieces here, let me show you. These are all individual pieces here that went in. This here as well, you can see that or not, it's a separate piece. And then this little piece right here was a real pain in the ass again. It's tiny, but got her done. So, just working on the gun mantlet right now. You see this or not? Hopefully you can. There we go. If I remember correctly, the 2C had a 20 millimeter rapid firing gun on it, and that's what this looks like to me in 1/35th scale. And then also we saw it had a machine gun as well, which is probably a MG34, I'd imagine at that point, because 42 wouldn't be out yet. This is an earlier Panzer. It's not a later one. So as you see here, take it off. Then I'll take the tip, scratch it off a little bit, smooth it out, make sure it looks good. Even though this end piece here is hidden inside the mantlet, I still want it to be flat so it gets a good connection. For me, I'll fill the hole up where it goes, and then show the barrel. Now I'm using the thicker stuff because these are going to be like over the lifetime of this thing. These are going to be, used and abused. Like they'll be touched, they'll be dropped, messed with, all kinds of stuff. So, with the quick stuff, you got to act quick because it will set, and you will have a problem if you want them to be straight, and they're not straight. They will. It's a pain in the ass. So, I mean, just so you know. So the next part of this, I gotta find the base of the turret, which right there, easily, right? So I'll take it out, snip it. I want to get it. When I take these tools, kind of looks like a pair of pliers, but they're flat, right? What you want to do is when you cut, you want the flat part of the tool cutting the flat part of the casting. So that's the flat part on the inside here. So I'll take it. You can see this or not, hopefully. Maybe. There it is. And it's a horrible angle, but see how the flat part towards the flat part, snip it. When it comes out, there's very little excess left. You can't even see it on there. There's a little bit right here. But yeah, there it is, you can see it. But it'll come off really easily. Actually, sometimes you can go in, take your snips, and just finish snipping it off if you want. If there's too much, then you can file it down as well. So it's just stuff you learn over time. That's what I've learned, you know, from my older days modeling and my newer days modeling. So it's just learning how to do stuff and how to do it properly versus kind of doing stuff and to do it. Like, as a kid, it's kind of acceptable. You're just like learning, or you're just a kid. You do whatever you want to do. And as an adult, you kind of want to make sure everything's taken care of, you know, more properly. So I'm thinking this might be a pain in the ass. So what I'm gonna do is actually no, it's not. It's gonna be easy. It's got two little saddles right here for the turret, or for the mantlet. So let's go ahead and set this in here, and should be good to go. Yeah, just like that. How about that? Yeah, easy. And I'll go ahead and use a lighter glue for this and glue it together. And that way it should stick fairly well. I don't, some people dry fit it. I do too occasionally, but I try to get all the surfaces I think is going to be, you know, covered by the glue, or not the glue, covered by the, you know, pieces coming together. So we'll see how this goes here. It should fit pretty well. And that's an okay fit. It's not the best. This is actually pretty rough. That's actually a really, really rough fit. Surprisingly so. Wow. It's just terrible. So we'll stick this together. Like, that's really crappy fit. It's by design. It's not misshapen or misformed. I mean, look at there's huge gaps. The front looks like shit, to be honest. And I'm just gonna try to see if I can get it lined up here. So we'll come back to this. Okay, so I've got it as good as I can get it, and there's still gaps in the sides, right? So what I'm gonna do, I mean, it's bad. So I'll take some of the thicker glue, I'll put it in those crevices and fill it, and then when we go to paint, if it's still really cracked and nasty looking, I'll go ahead and take some filler and put it in there as well. But the thick glue should work out pretty well. It should fill the gaps, so we'll get that taken care of real quick here. Now, it's just you can tell this gets so old, and it's crazy. It must have been a real pain in the ass back in the day, like when this is what you had to deal with. Like, I couldn't imagine this being a modern kit in this. I mean, of course, like I said, it's been reworked. I think the 2012 was reworked, maybe before that even. I can't imagine getting this kit and like this is what you have to deal with. So, and some people are like, well, what are you talking about, man? It's not too bad at all. I'm like, well, okay, well, that's your choice, but I'd much rather have it. Also, Q-tips. Q-tips. Oh, so amazing. Go, take some of the glue off, wipe it. And what you should see is that there's a bunch of glue in here, right? In those crevices. And it should set up and be solid. Again, if not, we'll take care of it when we get to painting it here later on. So, but that is the completed turret. It traverses up and down, and left and right is, of course, taken care of when it sits on top of the body. So, there we go. And on to the next piece. Alright guys, this is the top deck of the Panzer. It is amazingly complete by itself. There's not a lot to do on this. The instructions itself even, step 4 here, I think see that. It's mostly, get that glue picked up there real quick, because we all have messes, right? This is number 4, and as you can see, it's mostly small things to do on it. It's not a lot. It looks like the main thing to do is the front up there, what to call it, like maybe the driver's viewports or whatever, and then attach some of their smaller stuff. So I'm going to take care of that real quick, and I'll show you that when it's done. Alright guys, so we've got now we've got the bottom portion done here, or the whole portion finished. The only problem I had was right here on that little jack. I guess it's a jack of some kind, I'm not sure. And what I did was, on the sprue, it looked like they were just like maybe some longer sprues, so I cut them off flush with the bottom of the actual jack itself, when in reality, where I cut was a bit too deep, and it should have been for the pins to secure this. So in order to fix that, I took some of the thick glue, attached it I'll find a pointer here real quick. And attached it here and here real quick. Flipped over, put glue in the hole so it'd flow through and attach, and then some lighter glue to attach other places. And it seemed to be on there pretty solid. This was not a hard build on this part at all. It's just went together really nicely. So, and the last part is actually putting it together. So why don't we just go ahead and do that real quick here. So take our turret with the little notches on it. We'll match the notches up on here. Oh, let's see, it fit. Oh, buddy. It fit, but it's not turning. Let's see if we can do something else about this. There it goes. Oh, man, it's tight. Oh, that is real tight, guys. I may have to fix that and do something with it, but I guess we'll see. Whew, man, that's tight. Ugh. See, make sure it's nice and straight. Jeesh. Yeah. All right. We'll take our base and hook it in the back here. Oh, trying to get her here. Let's see if she'll fit in for me. And right now, she's not doing it. There. Ah. Perfect. Alright. So, let me get the tracks put together real quick and we'll finish her up. So, hang tight. Alright guys, so here are the tracks. I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I figured maybe they were going to be, well, I don't know, plastic. These are actually rubber and they're bendable. And the way these tracks work with Tamiya, it seems, is you got little prongs here, right? See those? And they fit in these. And when you put them together, it makes the tracks for the tank, right? Perfect. I like this. Building individual tracks really sucks. I hate that. And when I saw these, I was really pleasantly surprised. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these tracks glued together real quick, and we'll finish up. And then eventually, here we got to do some painting. So that'll be some fun. But right now, so we're gonna get this finished up. Oh, come on. And remember, this stuff's old, so it's not the newer stuff. Alright, so we got it glued together. Well, we're in the process of gluing it. So, I need to find something to put some weight on this real quick, so hang with me here. This is a relatively small set of tracks as well, by the way. Usually they're much bigger, but this is, again, a smaller tank, so thus it makes sense. Oh, it's not cooperating at all. So it may end up being that this may require the thicker stuff. You know what? I'm just going to do it. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do the thicker stuff. We'll call it a day. When all else fails, use thicker glue. I only call this failing though, but we call it learning. Learning for all. Alright, that glue is on there. And when you're gluing the tracks together, make sure you glue them together properly. There's plenty of possibility for errors where you get the little pins go through the bottom side of the track, but it's flipped over, so you have a track that's doing like a figure eight, and then trying to get them apart would be fucking terrible, and then trying to glue that back together would be even worse. So when you're doing this, make sure, I mean, just look, just take 2 seconds when you're lining this stuff up, look at it and be like, oh, hey, this is good. I got it, you know. This is the proper way it's lined up. Because if not, you're gonna have a horrible time trying to get that back apart. Okay, so the good thick glue got them together. So what I'm gonna do is run some light glue on this as well, just to fully glue this all together. And then, alright, well, that's setting. Get the other track. Let's go directly for the thick glue on this, because we've learned something. that the thin glue on these does not work at all, right? So, gonna apply this thick stuff right there. Take the track. Again, make sure you got it the right way, and then connect it. And then try not to glue your fingers to this. I mean, you can glue if you want to. It's fine. Just, yeah, it's gonna suck. Try and pull it apart, but you know, from what I've seen of Tamiya kits, it seems like the newer kits are just designed better, manufactured better, and are overall just a better product from what they had in the 70s. I mean, some of the stuff, like the newer tracks, they go together like really easily, really quickly. They give you, I think has 4 little pins that go through it. I think the new ones have like 6 or 8, which means that translates to more tracks in contact with the glue, which translates to easier gluing together. And this is not being good at all. This is giving me a terrible time. So I do really like Tamiya kits. I mean, I think it's Tamiya. I think it's Tamiya. I don't know. Someone will come along, I'm sure, and be like, hey, this is the actual proper way to pronounce it. So, oh, this is a pain in the ass. Wow. A lot harder than I expected of you guys. But, because my brain works like it does, I just remembered I have these handy-dandy pliers that you pinch to open. So it means they have a positive force closing them. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together real quick again. And then, hopefully without gluing my stuff together. Just like that. Aha! Victory. So let that sit for a minute. And you can see that our first set of tracks is now glued together. And in order to find where the pin was at, we just got to find those little 4 nubs that were sticking up. Which are... Dude, oh, that feels like... Is that it? Nope, that's not it. There it is. Right there. 4 little... Let's see. Camera focus a little bit. Maybe not. 4 little nubs sticking up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my... Where's that? My cutters. I'm going to cut those off a little bit. Not too deep. I mean, just want to take the nubs off so it looks a little better. And then, because they're sticking up a little high, I'm going to go ahead and glue a little bit, just a little bit more on this, just to make sure they're fully set. Because if they break apart means, you know, a little bit more time spent doing this crap you don't have to do later on. So, do it now, do it later, it's your choice. I prefer to just do it all now, get it finished. Pour some glue on there. Yeah, just pour a lot of glue on there. Yeah, glue fixes all things, apparently. And... We'll go back to this set of tracks, and magically, that is together too. Thank God for pressure, right? So we'll go ahead. We'll find the pins on this one as well. There we go. Add some glue on this one first. Actually, I can go ahead and pin this one back together again. Just for a minute or two. Alright, perfect. And we'll just let that sit again. Alright. So, take this, put this back together. Uh-oh, we lost a wheel. Not good, but we'll get her fixed. If you lose a wheel, it means you don't have enough glue on it. It's actually, come on. There it goes. Alright. Ooh, no. Not a good fit. Come on. Alright. And you can see that it looks like the poly cap popped off there. So I'm going to give it some good glue and we'll get right back to it. So hang on here and we'll take right care of it. Alright guys, so we've got our tracks together finally. I've trimmed off a little notch that we're sticking through, and it seems like it's okay. So we're going to take these and put on our Panzer Kampfwagen II, and we'll see how this goes here. So let's go ahead and get that done real quick. Now, before I paint this, or like when I paint this, what's going to happen is I'll take these tracks off. I'll probably paint these separately. There's no side skirts in this, like most of the later German tanks. It'll make painting these so much easier. So a lot of the tanks I've done have had side skirts. It's royal pain in the butt. And you know what? I'm doing it backwards. I should do the front first because it's got the little sprockets on there, right? So we should do that first, and then worry about going on the back here. So we'll do it that way. Remember, it's important to work smarter, not harder. If the Army taught me anything, that is one of the key lessons. And already I can see there's a little issue up here on this, where the fender is kind of tight there. You can probably see that. So we'll try to get that taken care of, get the stuff lined up, which, shazam, there that went. And then we'll take the tracks, there we go, and stretch them over the back here. And oh, that's actually a bad spot. That's right where the, you know what, we'll do it anyway. No, we won't. We won't do it that way. We'll move it up a little bit. There we go. Because the wheel was actually right where we had glued the tracks together. Oh, these are tight. Those are tight. There we go. Alright. So there we go. You see that there? Where is it at? See that? That needs to come off. That little black piece. That should not be there. It's probably part of the casting process, or the process, but we're going to take care of that. Get rid of that and call it a day. I'm probably taking off a little bit too much, and that's okay. Yeah, a little bit much, but ain't no big deal, because I'm sure these things break in real life too, or, well, they did break. They don't break anymore. I'll leave many of these around. So, let's go ahead and find the connection point, which is right here. You saw this glue, right? You can see that glue. All that glue there? Yeah. So I want that to be like maybe up in here on this portion of the track. That way it's not, it's not getting so much stress here and not a lot of stress back here. That way it's kind of right in the middle. It's not a big deal. So again, we'll start off with the front here. And this side seems to be a little bit easier to get through. Let's see. Where did it go? There it is. Nope. There it is. So get this through. And this track is not bad. It's not hard to work with. It's not a, not a big pain in the ass by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a matter of getting it lined up properly. Oops, don't want to bench shit here. Getting it lined up properly so that the sprocket, well, it's really called, maybe it's a sprocket, that lines up properly, and that everything else kind of falls into place. And once that happens, we'll be set. We'll be good to go. And I'm just going to get that little bit back in there to go over. There we go. That should be it. It's lined up pretty well. It's about getting the top in there now. Once that top goes, we'll be alright. Oh, there it was. Yep, there it went. Alright, good to go. We'll just take this around the back. Oh, and the track broke. Of course it did. Well, that means I get to re-glue this again. So, we'll catch up on this in just a few minutes. And the camera fell. Alright guys, we're back, and the track's finished, and on the tank. And like I said, it's always a learning process as well, because I decided that, why the hell would I mess with this part up here when I could just simply take the top off and do it that way, right? Simple. I also did a little bit of work on the turret, so it's moving a lot more free than what it was. And so basically what I did was I took little pins, I'll show you here, and see those, I'll point to them because now y'all can't see too well. Right here, that little space, I took and filed down to make it a little bit wider on both sides. And what that'll do is give it more space to rotate freely in this section here, the thicker, that section, so it fits a little bit better. You can see there's a little bit of glue got rubbed off here as well, so that could have been the part of the source of the sticking of the turd as well. So other than that, that's pretty much it for this model, and we'll go ahead and move on to painting, and I guess probably the next video. So thanks for taking the time, and catch you next video.